Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, I want to give you some good news amongst all the chaos, and especially with people having more quarantine time to think about their thinking. The number one thing that we're finding your friends and neighbors, clients from all around the United States have been able to have the insight of is the importance, and maybe no greater time of importance than right now, than to learn how to de-risk your retirement. See, many people have no idea what risk road they're on, right? For the risk that could take them down further if this recovery doesn't happen as many people are forecasting, as well as maybe not catching the upside as quickly as they could have. We had a client from Ohio this last week that said, some of the accounts I trade myself are doing better than who I'm paying to manage this other money because it's not doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Well, folks, it's like a yo-yo, up one day, down the next day, if you're in the general market. But if no one's ever had the opportunity to point out to you through a thorough, simple layman's analysis to show you the absolute risk that you're taking in relationship to the returns that you've been earning, and then learning from you what your risk tolerance is defined as, especially with the scare that this coronavirus has put into many people's retirement. Now, the opportunity to de-risk retirement is really giving people a new insight because in every case, literally every case, people have been able to lower their risk, significantly increase their return. Sometimes in this case, doubling the returns and cutting their risk in half while they're also simultaneously cutting or reducing their costs. And one of those costs they're also learning to do is to eliminate the tax cost, not just the fee cost. So imagine whether we're in a V recovery, as Trump has talked about, which I hope happens, although I'm a little skeptical, or the U recovery, right, where it's going to be a little bit more prolonged, or what I was learning in the Wall Street Journal this last week or reading, this W recovery, where it's going to be we were up, we're down, we're going to start to go back up. Things aren't going to be as recovering as quickly as people would have liked to see. So people are then it's going to head back down, then it's going to go back up. Whether it goes straight back up or it goes through a lot of gyrations, having the least amount of risk for the greatest amount of return is only going to help you weather that retirement risk storm that much better. Imagine more financial success, more time with family, less worry, like a client we met with in Arizona this last week that said, you know what, I was so fearful to open my statement till I met with you to kind of see if we could still be on track of retiring here in hopefully 2 years or less, that I was scared to open it till I talked to you. Folks, nobody wants to be scared of opening something that they're fearful of what they'll find. And unfortunately, a lot of people are finding themselves now with what this black swan coronavirus crisis has caused that's derailing their retirement or making many of you, those of you listening that are already retired, fearful that you're going to have to reduce your retirement. Well, remove the instability by de-risking retirement, where you can actually see in a simple layman's understanding of the risk you're taking to the return you're getting and be able to reduce that risk and significantly increase. That way you recover. You have your own self-recovery, right? That much faster as opposed to the old adage of what Wall Street wants you to believe, which is hang in, stay the course, it'll come back. Folks, hope is not a strategy. Knowing exactly where you are and what you're exposed to versus where you could be and that much faster, that much less exposure is key. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. I'm going to be teaching this Tuesday. I'm excited to share with you what many of your friends and neighbors have learned all throughout the United States, especially having more quarantine time to think about their thinking, where they're actually, in many cases, dropping their risk by as much as half and increasing their returns by double, and cutting their costs in almost half in some cases, in removing the tax. See, we still not only have the contentiousness of this crazy coronavirus and how quickly our economy responds or doesn't, we also have this election year that's coming up, which would have made 2020 a very difficult and challenging year for the markets. So if you want to learn how to protect the most amount of your money, it's in 2020. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.